What's up, everybody? It's HBT with Straight Up Wrestling Show, guys. I am here, man. I am here this Labor Day afternoon, guys. Almost evening time. I'm just going to come on here and I'm going to talk a little bit about wrestling and what's going on today. You know, what's going on right now in wrestling. So we're going to go over a few different topics. We're going to talk about Ricochet. We're going to talk about Roxanne Perez. We're going to talk about Cody Rhodes. And we're going to talk about Tony Kahn. So when it boils down to it, you know, hey, we're going to talk about both of the big companies, man. I'm talking about WWE, and I will throw AEW in there because AEW is on nationwide television. Hey, it's on cable television, but it's on nationwide television on TBS and TNT. So it is definitely 100% a big company, man. Even though, hey, WWE, it does shrinks it in size. I will say that it shrinks it, but when it boils down to it, AEW has a lot of talent, guys. They have a lot of great wrestlers, so they are worthy to be talked about. So we're going to talk a little bit about WWE and AEW, but let me go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Ricochet. Man, Ricochet, Ricochet at All In a couple weeks ago, Ricochet made his debut, guys. Ricochet made his debut, came into the ring, explosive, taking out, I think he took out like 4 or 5 guys. Maybe it was 6 guys, but he took out like 4 or 5 guys, came in there looking very dominant, as he came into the ring, doing his thing. Hey, looking like a superstar like he is. He really is a superstar, came from WWE, a superstar, but a superstar that was pretty much left in mid-card status. And, sometimes on the lower mid-card. And sometimes he was higher mid-card. And it looked like at one point that, hey, this guy was going to rise above and become one of the mainstays, one of the top players in the WWE. That never did materialize. So he ended up coming up to a new contract negotiations. That didn't work out. So he decided to take his talents over to AEW. Now he's in AEW, and like I said, he just now made his debut a couple weeks ago. Everything was looking good. Therefore, maybe anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes into that match, looking very good in that gauntlet match. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that was a gauntlet match that he was in, but he looked very good in that match, and then he ended up getting knocked out of the ring. And once he got knocked out of the ring, who was that who came out? Let me not say Edge. His name is not Edge right now. His name is Adam. He's going by Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland came in there, pretty much cleared the ring. Ricochet got knocked out of the ring, never came back into the ring. Now that right there was not good. Ricochet should have came back in the ring. Ricochet should have been one of the last 3 players in that ring, last 3 to 4 players in the ring. He should have been inside the ring along with Adam Copeland and whoever else was left in that ring. And it should have been hard as I don't know what to get Ricochet out. And it should have been a fluke to take Ricochet out. Should have been a fluke. It should have been a fluke that Ricochet got knocked out and was not able to win that thing. I can understand him not winning it, but Ricochet should have went all the way to the end and almost won that gauntlet match, but it didn't happen. And so we come to Wednesday night, that Wednesday night Dynamite, not even a whole week later, and he takes on Kyle Fletcher, guys. So he had a match against Kyle Fletcher like 4 or 5 days after the pay-per-view. And, to me, I know a lot of people out here saying Kyle Fletcher is everybody's worst opponent. He's no good or whatever. But I look at Kyle Fletcher as a good opponent. I really do. But should Ricochet been in that match against Kyle Fletcher? I don't think so. Kyle Fletcher, it doesn't matter the way you see him, he still has a name. In my opinion, I think they should have put Ricochet in that match against somebody, somebody that's up and coming, somebody who really don't have a huge name out there. You could have put Ricochet in there against the bounty hunter. What is his name? Brian Keefe or whatever his name is, or something like that. But you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy who hangs out with Jericho and all those. Jericho and Big Bill. Whatever his name is. You could have put him I'm not saying actually put him in the ring with him, but somebody like that, or somebody that's coming up. You could have picked somebody off the local scene. Have Ricochet dominate that guy, and then have Ricochet go out after that match and have an interview or whatever and talk about his aspirations and what he's going to do, what he wants to do in AEW. Just, nothing really long or anything, maybe a 1 to 2 minute 2 minute interview, and pretty much let it go. And then the next week, man, the next week he comes up and has an exciting match, maybe, a name, but a low level type guy. And I'm not going to say, I'm somebody in the caliber of a Butcher or whatever, even though Butcher is huge and Butcher should be better on the card. But you have somebody like Ricochet take on somebody like that, somebody who's on a low middle card. But what the thing about Ricochet, it needs to be a slow build. And then you for the first 3 or 4 weeks, make it a slow build, and then you build it up after that, and then it's a speedy build. So you get him within 2 months to anywhere from 8 weeks to 11 weeks. 11 weeks, about 11 a week. Hey, he's one of the top 4 or 5 contenders in AEW, but you have to build him. You have to make him a superstar. He's already a superstar, but you have to make him a superstar within the confines of AEW. And that's one thing that AEW seemed like they refuse to do, guys, or Tony Khan does not know how to do it. You have to build your wrestlers up to being a superstar in AEW, even though he's a WWE guy and people will, attribute his success to WWE. Hey, it's all you, and you got to let people see that he's burning up the competition in AEW to get where he's getting. You got to let people see that, even if he's starting off with the low end of the competition. Don't put him in there against top caliber talent right off the bat, because if he loses, it's not gonna look good. Or if your talent that you already have there loses to him, like Pac loses to him, it's not gonna look good. If Will Ospreay loses to him, it's not gonna look good. Or if he loses to them, it's definitely not gonna look good, and you lost your investment. And that's one thing that AEW, Tony Khan needs to. He really needs to get a hold of, guys. He really needs to get a hold of knowing how to handle that, that aspect of the business with his wrestlers 100% straight up. All right, man. Wow. So let's go on to Roxanne Perez, guys. Roxanne Perez, who just now defeated Jada Parker on NXT, at NXT No Mercy in Denver, Colorado. That was a really good match, guys, on the Straight Up Wrestling Show. We ended up giving that match 3 stars. Like I say, it was a very good match. Very competitive. Roxanne Perez, the consummate professional who's been in the game longer than Jada Parker, who's coming along very fast. Soccer star in college, and she's been coming along very fast in the ring, shocking a lot of people. She slapped the taste out of Roxanne Perez's mouth, man, this last Tuesday night. She slapped the crap out of Roxanne Perez, and then I think Roxanne Perez, she would have got a slap back, in this match. But Roxanne Perez, she showed her stuff. Roxy, the phenomenon that she is, she went ahead and showed her stuff, and she ended up taking this match, and I say she ended up winning like 65% of this match. Jada Parker did do her thing, but Roxanne, as she came on, I think I say 60, anywhere from 60 to 65%, she ended up taking this match. But man, big ups to Jada Parker, because she did give Roxanne Perez a hard time. And so as Roxanne Perez won the match, she's looking at her and everything, and she's pretty much getting a little celebratory in the ring there. And here come Gilia, or is it Jilia? I think it's Gilia. Coming out, the female that, made a name over in Japan. She comes out and, hey, she looking good, man. She's definitely looking good. Walk into that ring. And Roxanne Perez, she is doggone holding on to that title, guys. She is holding on to that title. She's looking, she's looking at her, and she's looking a little afraid there, man. Roxanne Perez, who's had all the confidence in the world since the second title reign, since she got it back. Even before that, when she was going for it, man, her pretty much, her confidence shot through the roof. She didn't look too confident when Gilia, is it Jilia, one of the two, because I really don't follow her, but whatever her name is, she comes out, and I have seen a couple matches with her. I just don't follow her enough to really know that name. But she comes out, and Roxanne Perez, she was on the fritz, man. She did not look good. She's holding on to that title. But hey, I look forward to this matchup. But I think Roxanne Perez is going to be able to hold her own. Will she be able to hold on to that title? Now, one thing that NXT, one thing that Shawn Michaels need to do, Triple H, I know he's involved. Either way it go, one thing that WWE needs to do, they need to make this thing to be a little drawn-out feud, kind of like what they're doing with, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade El Idolo. Give us something, guys, to chew on, guys. Give us some meat out of this and make this thing be a little feud here between these two, because you're going to have some outstanding matches between those two. So give us a chance to chew on this for a little while, guys. And before, like I said, Roxanne Perez, you might have her losing at the end, but you have her, take out Jillia or whatever her name is. Like I say, once again, pretty much win this feud, but she takes Roxanne Perez out at the last minute and takes the title, and then Roxanne Perez go up. That's the way you guys do things. I would do it a little bit different than what WWE has done, but they've always did that. Anytime that they push somebody up, they have them lose, man. I don't understand that logic at all, but hey, it is what it is. All right, next, guys, we have Cody Rhodes. Let's talk a little bit about Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes is champion. A lot of people don't want to see Cody Rhodes with this title, guys. They want to see Cody Rhodes, the title out, the title off of Cody Rhodes. They want to see Cody Rhodes chase the title. That's not me, guys. I like Cody Rhodes as the champion. Cody Rhodes looks like a champion. Cody Rhodes has the talent to be a champion. Cody Rhodes has it all when it boils down to it. Hey, is he Roman Reigns? No, he's not Roman Reigns. But Cody Rhodes, if you give him a chance, he definitely can be. And, some people say, okay, he's boring or whatever. I'm over it or whatever. Do not blame these wrestlers, guys. Stop blaming the wrestlers and look at the person who's in charge. Look at the person who's in charge of the booking committee or whatever, because it's definitely a committee. They have different writers up up there in New York or Connecticut or wherever they're located. I'm pretty sure Connecticut, but they have different writers with the WWE. And those different writers and those bookers, they are the one, when it boils down to it. Paul Levesque, he is the last man on the totem pole. He is the last stop, guys, around the corner, and he's the one who's sending out these matches. So, in my opinion, it's not just my opinion. It's just the way wrestling always been, or wrestling always should have been. It's up to the promoter, guys, to make that guy even a bigger star than what he's making himself. So, they have to book Cody Rhodes right to make him look like a superstar, a legit superstar that nobody could touch. You got to make this guy look like he's, hey, on top of the world. You got to make this guy look like, hey, he's bigger than the average Joe. You the ones got to do that, guys. And so Cody Rhodes only can do what he can do. In my opinion, the few feuds that he had since he had this title didn't make any sense at all. Okay, this last one, hey, Kevin Owens, is he going to turn tonight or he's going to turn next week? Look like Kevin Owens is on the brink of turning, and that is a good thing. But, you ended up putting him in a match with Kevin Owens. But why? Okay, I think the first feud after he won the title, I think it was against Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke Nakamura, you putting all his money behind him, putting these great vids and everything, these videos out, and Shinsuke just looking devastating, man. Like, he's a real threat out here to Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes take him out. And then I forgot the second one. I think it was the second one was I think Shinsuke. The first one was against AJ, or was it the second one against AJ? I'm not sure, but he ended up taking out AJ Styles too, and they did not build that up right either. So it's when it boils down to it, it is their fault. And why in the world did Cody have to start out on the top? Because AJ Styles, I think it was AJ Styles' first after he got the title. AJ Styles is a phenomenal wrestler. He's a top-notch wrestler, top-tier star who's not getting his just due either, even though he's been in the game a long time. And I know he's got his just due over there in WWE. But no one can sit there and say that this man still doesn't have it. He's still a top-notch performer, guys, straight up. But hey, Cody Rhodes, hey, he deserves more respect, and I love him being a champion, and he's a complete champion. He looks good as a champion, guys. It's the WWE is the ones who's got to make this thing look better, because it doesn't make no sense why the fans think the title should be off of him. But if you take the title off of him, who should be the next in line right now? Because I mean, Roman is not going to come back full time anytime soon. Who you going to put that title on? Straight up, guys, straight up. Unless Roman is back full time, then you put the title back onto Roman, and then you have the same situation, and the title's not really being defended. I love Roman, but I want to see that title defended, guys. All right. Next, man, Tony Khan. Let's talk briefly about Tony Khan. I could get into a whole bunch of things to talk about Tony Khan, but I'm talking briefly about Tony Khan. Tony Khan right now is a struggle. It's a struggle, guys. And, Tony just now, next week, Tony is pretty much rolling right back into another pay-per-view. So I'm just like, I think it's all out. It's all out. We just had All In. It's all out. So he's rolling right back into another pay-per-view. That's not good. I remember in 2022, I bought both of them. Last year, I only bought one of them. But, man, that is a lot of money. People right now don't really have that type of money. And when it boils down to it, I mean, you're putting on pretty decent shows. I thought All In was a great show, in my opinion. I loved All In. It was pretty good. Hey, I'm not going to over-exaggerate and say it was great, but it was pretty darn good. And when it boils down to it, you have a lot of talented wrestlers. You have great wrestlers. Man, Tony Khan, you're going to have to figure this thing out, Tony. Tony, if you can't come up with storylines, I mean, you put some pretty good matches together, but you need to balance that out and stop giving everybody everything for free. Hey, sometimes you have to throw in matches that's kind of small. You don't have to have all the top matches and try to put them on one card, man, on a Wednesday night or a Saturday night. And when it comes to Rampage got to be just like Dynamite. You have to go all in, Tony. You have to drop the bomb, Tony Khan. You have to give us something very exciting. You got to give it to us all. Do not let people walk out of the arena after Dynamite and then you give us a subpar Rampage. That is not good, because on Friday nights, people are looking at that after SmackDown, and what you're doing is you are pretty much letting people watch SmackDown, then they watch Rampage, and then they comparing your show. And then and if it's not up to par, then people are going to dog you out for it. But Tony, you need to figure out what you're going to do. And hey, I don't know what to say about this Shane McMahon rumors, but if you bring in Shane McMahon, then what I'm thinking is Vince McMahon ideas is in tow with Shane McMahon, because there's no way in the world Shane McMahon is coming over there into AEW just to be bossed around or just come in there for a ratings ploy. I don't think so. But yeah, would a McMahon help you out? Yes, he would. But man, I really do think that Vince McMahon has something to do with it if Shane gets involved. But hey, we don't know if that's going to happen or not. We got to stay tuned and watch it. But Tony Khan, you have a chance, man. You have a real chance, and it's your fault if you cannot come up and pretty much make your product better than what it was back in 2021, early 2022. You have great wrestlers on your roster, guys. I mean, on his roster. And look, man, I could go down the line of the greatness of your roster. But that roster don't mean anything if you don't know what to do to put those guys in a position to succeed. And, you have these wrestlers who's tired and they're restless and they think it's them. It's not them when it boils down to it. I know they see you as a certain element of you, not getting things done and putting them in the right position. But when it boils down to it, it's up to you to put them in the right position. And I don't know what's going on with Moxley, man. I really don't. We have to stay tuned. I didn't put down that I was going to talk about Moxley, but we'll stay tuned for that. But guys, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in here, rocking with Straight Up Wrestling Show. Before you leave out of here, hey guys, if you're on Facebook, hit that like, share, join. If you're here on YouTube, you hit that like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, 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 so you know we're on like times like these. And if you over on Twitch, you do the same thing that you do on YouTube. Hit that like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, ding, ding, ding. But guys, man, we definitely appreciate each and every one of you coming in here, rocking with us every night. I don't know if we're gonna do a live all this week. I'm not sure how many of them that we're going to do right now. I'm contemplating on that because I want to get into a lot of other things that I need to get into that's been neglected. And that's one thing about it, man. As wrestling fans, especially as podcasters, but wrestling podcasters as wrestling fans, hey, we can get kind of lost and, caught up into this stuff. Hey, man, but hey, Straight Up Wrestling Show, we love y'all. Appreciate you coming in, rocking with HBT, man. Straight Up Wrestling Show. We'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.